Hi, welcome to Bear On Podcast. I'm your host, Paul Bear. That's what friends call me, at least. Um, Fuck, why did I have a brain fart? Just don't cut that out. That's kind of funny. All right, so my name is Paul Bear. Uh, Tell you a little bit about myself on this first episode. I grew up in Dodgeville, Wisconsin for pretty much part of my life. Good part of my life, actually. Yeah, over half my life. Got there from seventh grade all the way through graduation. A couple years after that, and eventually moved to a little small town outside Dodgeville. Before that, I lived in Lodi and Verona, but I always like to say I'm from Verona. I have the my dad's side of the family's from that area anyway, so I might as well just claim it as my own. And I did love living there. It was one of my favorite places in Wisconsin. Till I moved to this general area that's not too bad. It's pretty quiet. Um, I want to start a podcast because it's something I've been wanting to do for a very, very long time. I want to talk about hunting, politics, just everyday things, maybe some conspiracy theories even. It's something I've been wanting to do for a very, very, very long time. It just didn't do it, and now it's a time to do it now. Um, my main passion right now is hunting. I did had a couple of career paths where I want to join the military. Um, that fell through because my parents divorced, and then I had a choice either take care of my father or help my mother out and help raise my little sisters. So I took that path because I didn't want to see my sisters have be homeless. So I worked and made sure there was a roof over their head, food on the table, that kind of stuff. Um, then my other plan was, besides joining the military, if I were to join, got out, I want to be a rapper. I wrote songs every single day, and all I could think of is the beat and writing down uh, words. I always, when I was younger, I always had something to say. Um, that fell through because I had some personal stuff going on in my life, and nowadays, there ain't much to talk about in my opinion. Um, that you can get through a song as like country or rock or something nowadays. Rap. I don't know of anyone that listens to rap anymore. I'd be honest with you, but I still listen to the old school shit. Um, so now that brings us back to why I want to do a podcast. Um, I'm tired of working the 9 to 5 job deal. Not necessarily working the 9 to 5 job. It's just me working and benefiting the person that's in charge of me. I'm just sick of it. It's not benefiting me. I'm not getting nowhere. Sure, I've had jobs where I've been a supervisor or a lead, all that fun stuff, but still, I always had someone above me, and I just don't want to be in that position no more, where I gotta benefit someone else, and where it's not going to benefit me. Sometimes good things happen during the job where it does benefit you, but the person that's above you is praised a little more than what you are, and you're the one doing the work. So I'm tired of it. I think it's time for me to do something for myself, and podcasting has been something I want to do for a very, very, very long time. And this is the right opportunity to do it right now. Um, the biggest passion in my life besides wanting to do the podcasting is hunting. I've been hunting for a total of 6 years, but I think the first year I ever went hunting was back in 2016. I think it was 2015, 2016. And I just never got back into it. I was dating someone at the time, and they's never let me go out and do stuff like that, go hunting, and they thought I was stupid or something, but whatever. Fuck them. Um, at least the woman I'm with right now, been married to her for 3 years now, and she lets me do what I want to do. So that's pretty cool, and I'm very thankful for that. Um, the person that ever got me into hunting was uh, a high school teacher I had. Um, he talked about hunting all the time, and he brought in venison, summer sausage, and stuff like that. And I think he brought in venison burgers, or he told me a recipe or something like that, and I ended up making it one time because my mom and dad never had a lot of money, and we went to a local food pantry, and someone donated a bunch of venison, and my mom picked it up, and I remember making it one time, and it was the best meat that I've ever had in my life. And I was thinking to myself, I gotta try this. I gotta try going hunting to do, to come up with, bring home my own meat. But yeah, I heard that teacher talk every day about hunting. It would be the middle of a subject and just go straight to hunting. And I didn't like paying attention unless it's a subject that I was very key on interested in, and I wanted to learn. Then I did. But if it was something that wasn't catching my attention, I just kind of slumped off and sleep. But whenever hunting got brought up, I was like ears perked. I was listening. I was learning every information that I could get off him. And those years I never got to try because my own mother didn't want me going hunting. She thought it's unsafe, whatever. Then years down the road, my mother ended up remarrying another guy, and he's a big hunter. And my stepdad took me out hunting a couple years back. I think it was like 2015, 2016. I can't remember, but I don't think I actually physically hunted. I think I went with just to get the experience of being out in the cold and stuff. And if I remember right, I think it was in December. So in here in Wisconsin, that's doe. Um, doing that and just being out in the woods like that or a field, it was something. I enjoyed it, and I've always been like an outdoors person. If any chance I get to be outdoors, I'll do it. But then fast forward, my mom and stepdad divorced, and then during that part of that time, I was dealing with my own personal things, and then I eventually moved in with my stepdad, and then he took me out hunting one time for a gun, and he asked me if I was interested in doing it, and I said, yeah, I'll take my hunter safety course and whatnot, and that I went hunting, and I think it was like the second or third day. It was getting towards sundown, and just enough to still see light, and I was gonna give up because I was just a little cold, just tired. I take 2 steps, and next thing I know, I see something walking across probably about 200 feet away or whatever it was. And then, I took my scope, kind of looked, and I saw antlers, and I saw so put the gun down a little bit, looked again. I was like, yep, that's a buck. Took my shot, down for the kill, and that happened to be the buck. Be the buck right behind me, above me. Little 10-pointer. And after I shot that buck, I felt sad, but at the same time, I felt happy. Like, I was sad the ammo died, but I was happy because I accomplished something that I didn't think I could ever accomplish. So that night, stepdad taught me how to, dress it and everything. And no one told me how much of a hard work, just to drag that fucker out. And, watch videos, whatever. You're like, oh my god, those guys, yeah, whatever. They're just out of shape. At the time, I was in really good shape. I lifted weights every day. It was a pain in the ass, but I tell you what, the moment you get that deer into the vehicle, back of the vehicle, it is well worth the exhaustion. And then take it to where you gotta take it to, hang it up, let it sit out for overnight. It is the best thing ever. And it's just stories you could tell in the future. You could be around a pickup truck, and you could be around 10, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 guys. You don't even know who they are. You don't know what their names are. But it's just a great, great story to tell. And then they could turn around and tell your story to someone else. Hey, I know this guy. He shot this deer, whatever. Because I've heard stories like a deer getting shot just in the tail and a deer died. Stuff like that. Just amazing stories, and so you just want to pass it on. It's just that's hunting. I love it. These last couple years, I haven't got anything during bull or gun. I got my theories on that. One is, I see a lot more coyotes out more than ever. I see them on the back roads on my way home. I probably almost hit one once a week. And another one was actually today when my wife and my daughter were coming back home. I think it's from the mall. And we were on our way back, and just the back roads, when I was younger, this back road, it was just field. You can see a couple farmhouses. You might see a corner bar, a bar sitting in the corner. But now when you drive down that road, you got houses there, like a suburb area, just downways. You used to see a sign on the way back, just letting you know, hey, this is where deer cross. This is where they're gonna potentially get hit. So you gotta pay attention. But no, you don't see that no more. That's sad, but it is what it is. It's good. It's good for more of a community to form. That's more jobs. Especially in small towns. You want to make them grow, but sometimes you don't. Like for me, I not necessarily, because I like it quiet. But yeah. So I figured to start a podcast. We could talk about hunting. Uh, originally maybe so, but every podcast I'm gonna do is what's on my mind. Like I said, I want to do this podcast. This is the time to do it. I'm tired of doing that, working for someone that it's not benefiting you. It's only benefiting the person that's above you. I'm sure the people above you is feeling the same way. They just want to keep making it, going up the ladder, but just sometimes they can't because it's only benefiting the next person above them. But other than that, the place I work at right now, I love it. I don't think I'm gonna quit anytime soon though. I'm just gonna slow down, just do my work, and just show up, do my work, leave. But at the same time, I like to play jokes on everyone that I work with. For instance, I was a friend of mine. He left, and he left his work vest where we're at, and I had this bright idea to take his work vest, switched out my boss's work vest, and just mind you that my boss is like 5 foot, maybe 4 foot, I don't know, a freaking leprechaun size, and my friend's this big grizzly guy. He's 6'5" or something like that, and just big guy. I call him Ogre from Shrek. So I took his work vest. I put my boss's name on his vest and switched it out for hers. And when she got to work that morning, the next morning, a couple mornings maybe, Put on the vest, try to zip it up. Didn't think nothing of it, thinking, oh, I just got a new vest. Maybe it was this big or not. I don't remember, but I did put the name tag on that vest, and for the longest time, she was trying to figure out what happened to that name tag, and someone else in the back, another friend of mine, picked up the name tag, and like, look, what's this say on the bottom of this tag? It says, supervisor, and look at it closely, and still couldn't figure out, and flip the tag over from Chris to my boss's name, and oh. But everyone else is in the back was like, oh, that's got Paul's name over it. That's But another thing I like to do to anyone, and especially my boss, I got this weird thing where if I look at someone, I just end up seeing a actor or a character or whatever. And like for instance, there's a guy that used to work or that works there, and he shaved his beard and head, and to me he looked like Dobby from, is it Dobby or Dobby? Dobby from Harry Potter. And I went to her like, hey, I took a picture of him and showed her Dobby whenever I googled it. That's not the only time. There's this guy that I see walking through, and he looked like the guy from Under Siege, Nicolas Cage, the old version with the goatee and the hair slicked back and the long hair. When I show my boss, it's like, "Jeez, where do you come up with this crap?" No, I just like to be in the class clown. I don't like a negative workplace. I just think everyone just needs to laugh and come to work. And even if you're having a bad day, you could talk about it. And the thing I hate is if someone's having a bad few months, you can't tell me you had one good day during that month. I just call utter bullshit. I think just people just like to be assholes sometimes. And that just brings back to me. I'm also an asshole too. But in a good way. To me, being an asshole is, I just put my foot down. I can't stand people treat me like shit. So if you're going to treat me like shit, you're just going to get the same feedback. It's just like when someone yells at me, I'm just going to match their volume. And so you can't say we're yelling at each other. No, I'm just matching the volume. Nothing wrong with that. But I think that's what's wrong in America right now. Just everyone's so goddamn sensitive. They just need to fucking grow up. It doesn't matter what you are or what you like, or just let it be. It's not hurting you. So what's the point in being offended? So yeah. I just wanted to do this podcast because I figured it's time to do it, and I'm sorry that I might be repeating some of my things or saying the word all the time, as my wife would just say, "Don't say the word I don't care. I'm just gonna enjoy this time and sip on this Jack and Coke, just celebrating the first podcast that we're doing. And as you can see on the walls here, you got hunting, you got some political shit, for hunting, I've been asked before, would I prefer gun or bow? I prefer a bow. It's a little more challenging. There's a lot of techniques to it, and I love to, when I get a new bow, I just like to put the new sight on, the new rest, try to work it out, try to shoot. It's just like playing a game of pool. It's a little challenging, but as soon as you get it down, you get better. And but at the same time, shooting a gun and shooting a bow, as long as you're getting out there, you're in the woods, especially in the early morning, just seeing that sunrise, it's just beautiful. Like I said earlier, it doesn't matter if you don't get nothing at all. It's just being out in the woods. That's when I do a lot of my great thinking. If I'm thinking I'm bucking up at something in life, go out in the woods. You sit there or you stand or whatever you're doing. You just start thinking about shit and how you could better yourself and how you could better your family, your health even. Uh, it's just a great feeling. It's my stress reliever. I don't take days off from work unless I necessarily have to. If my kid's sick or my wife's sick, then I'll take off. But other than that, if I can still make it at work, I make it at work. But the only time I don't want to be at work is during the hunting season. I gotta be out in that woods. And like I said, if I'm having a fucked up year or time or whatever, I rather be in the woods and just think and you know how I can benefit myself. And the whole entire time when I was out in that woods this year, I just kept on thinking about the podcast. I had all the equipment. I just haven't had it set up yet, and Thanksgiving came around, and my wife and I decided to take our office area, front room of our house, and we just decided to split in half. She takes one side, take the other side, and this is now or never. And I'm excited, a little nervous at the same time. But eventually we're gonna have some guests on here. I've been reached out by a few people, so we'll see what we could do from there. Normally, I'm thinking lately that maybe Wednesdays and Thursdays we'll do the podcast, or one or the other, because those are my days off mainly, where I don't have too much going on. I'm at home a little longer. But yeah, we'll work this out and see where it goes. And there was that my wife always says, or I could just take this jack and be like, yum 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 yum. Yeah, she just rolled her eyes at me. Yeah, my wife is gonna be the producer here. She's doing a fabulous job looking down her phone, not looking at the laptop. So yeah, the podcast is just, I'll talk about whatever I gotta talk about, whatever's on my mind, and who I want to bring on. I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I don't give a fuck. Actually, my wife's the one that came up with that idea. Right now, I just feel like I had deja vu, because I felt like I said this before. At some point, I visualized where I'm sitting and stuff. That's a little creepy. I wonder how many people have experienced deja vu. Have you experienced deja vu before? Yeah, multiple times, sometimes. Yeah, I remember one time when I was when I had a deja vu moment. I remember like a month prior that I remember being in the backseat of a car, of my parents' car. We're driving past this place that was, I think it was a liquor store or a bar at the time. And I think they were turning it into a bank, like in the middle of being a bank. And I just remember being that, like a month later, being in the back seat and just looking at that and like, whoa, shake your head and be like, wow, I think that was deja vu. And, I've had it multiple times in my life and never thinking of it until I got older. And now I just don't give a shit. But it's very interesting that makes you wonder if there's an alternate universe out there. Nah. Probably not. Do you think so, hon? You do? There's an alternate universe? Like a Spider-Man or Deadpool type shit? Yeah. You could talk to. Nope. She's shy. But yeah, this is gonna be the podcast, and I hope you could join. And I promise you, the other podcasts will be a lot better than this, and me talking. Because my life, I haven't done anything special. I was a shelter kid, so I didn't get out much. And now I'm in my adulthood. I've basically been working from the age of 16, 17 years old, and here I am in my 30s now, and all I've done is worked my ass off, and now I want to do something that I want to do. You probably get a lot of listeners. I'm 50 years old and I bust my ass every day. What are you complaining about? Look. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I just want to benefit me, myself, and my family. That's it. I just said before, and I'm gonna keep working on my other job till I know it's time for me to part ways, and that's fine. I'm still gonna get up early in the morning. I'm still gonna go to work, still bust my ass, and keep making jokes and messing around with my coworkers. That's it. I'm gonna do my part of living in America, paying my taxes and everything. So don't get your panties in a bunch. It is what it is. But but yeah. So the next time I'm doing a podcast, I might have a guest on here. If I don't, I don't. It'll just be me on this microphone. I'm trying to get my wife to do it, but she won't do it. Too shy, too camera shy. But anyway, you all have a good night. Hopefully you all have a good New Year's. The rest of your New Year's. What day is it? 4th? 5th? Today's the 5th? Okay. So I can't say Happy New Year, but hopefully you all have a good rest of the 2024, or good comings of 2024. But yeah. So peace out, guys. Don't forget to have a little drinky drink. Peace. Y'all don't want me to leave, do you? My wife thinks I still have something to talk about. I can talk about the most embarrassing moment in my life. The most embarrassing moment I have in my life was when I lived on a farm. I was in Lodi. Lived on Highway 60 there, and I remember taking my bike out in the middle of the field. There's a path that leads out to more acres of the farm. On the cornfield, and I think it led to the lake back there. I can't remember. But I remember on my way back, I was supposed to come in for dinner, and I saw this turtle making its way, and in my mind, I know that if I try running with a turtle, I ain't gonna do nothing to the turtle because it's got a shell. The other part of my mind because I got two parts of my mind. I got the logic and I got the stupid. Well, my mind switched to stupid, and I tried running over that turtle like it was a fruit or something, and the bike just went whoop. I went flying and right into a patch of fucking manure. I remember just raising up and like I was shaking and knew I was horrified, and the stench was bad. It was in my nose. I don't think I got it in my mouth. Thank God. So now I can legit say that it tastes like shit. But I remember getting up. I didn't even grab my bike. I just walked slowly, like walking to my house. And my cousins were there and everything, and I stood there right before I got onto the porch, and everyone just like looked at me like, oh. So my mom just like made me stay there, strip down. They tried hosing me down with the garden hose, I think. Eventually I went in and tried taking a bath and stuff, and the stench was so bad. Like it stuck on me. And I remember my mom and my cousin, they went to the local Piggly Wiggly and got the biggest cans of tomato juice. And I don't know how many they got, maybe a couple, but I remember I had to bathe in that, and that was it. And it was summertime. It's hot, but the water was cold. The tomato juice just didn't feel right. It was just the worst experience I've had in my life. And not only that, I was not allowed to sleep in my bed because I still smelt. So I had to sleep in the living room on a floor, okay? Above the area that I was sleeping, above there was a light. a light fixture. During the summer, it will be bees swarming in there. Somehow they get into the attic or the neighbor's upstairs living room or whatever it was. Somehow it made its way. Bees will fly around. Just tons of bees will fly around in this light fixture. And during the wintertime, it's crawling with spiders. For some reason, because I'm not afraid of bees at whatsoever. Not one bee. For some reason, when I was sleeping in the living room, I woke up with spiders. When I say spiders, I'm not talking 1, 2, 3. I'm talking about spiders as in Pearl S. Spiders, like dozens and dozens of spiders just crawling over me. And I remember being horrified and running for my life. Okay, like I said, during the summer, bees are in that light fixture, and during the winter, spiders are crawling out of that damn thing. And it was summer. So I think that's where I got my fear of spiders from. I guess I just remember opening my eyes and I saw a couple of them just like stringing down from the web, coming down, and I was just like looking around. I just felt something on my feet, my knees, and my elbows, and everything. I got the hell out of there. And I don't know if I stepped in here. I don't know, but yeah, just that's where my fear of spiders came from, and it's just disgusting. Ugh. So I think that's one of my most horrified stories, maybe most embarrassing story ever, and it happened within less than a 24-hour time span. That sucked. But other than that, yeah, just not too much of me being embarrassed about anything. I just, it is what it is. Let shit go. Roll the shoulders. But yeah. I guess we'll talk some more on the next podcast, and maybe we'll get a guest, and we don't. Like I said, I'll talk about whatever's on my mind. We'll go from there. All right, everyone. Have a good night, and peace out.